Hi, I'm Dr. Liz Hale, marriage and family therapist with husbandandwife.com. We have one goal, and that is to help you form and sustain a healthy, lasting, loving marriage. Nothing in a couple's life demands more decisions, large and small, than a wedding. The checklist is endless, isn't it? I mean, photographer, flowers, food, favors, family fights. Did I say that? Most brides and grooms will tell you that it's not dealing with the details of the event that are most difficult. It's dealing with the people, the family members, the friends. So when tying the knot, how do you avoid tying the knot around the necks of the people whom you love the most? Well, weddings are complicated. They involve money, religion, dreams, tastes, and values. And it's usually for the whole world to see, it seems like, right? Sadly, there are also social expectations, family competition, and endless wedding comparisons. Your wedding and your marriage are important. As a matter of fact, you begin building your marriage by planning your wedding. How you communicate during your planning stays with you. How you deal with your differences, how you support each other, and how you negotiate each other's families lays a template for your future. When you marry someone, you truly do marry their family. As soon as you announce your engagement, guess what? You are now an in-law. You are a daughter-in-law or a son-in-law. We usually have to work at bonding, accepting, and understanding our in-laws. It's usually not love at first sight, not always anyway. If you are crazy about your sweetheart's family and they are crazy about you, good for you. But know that there will be challenges ahead as you form a new family together. It's just inevitable. There will be days when it feels crazy making, so don't let that surprise you and throw you off course. It seems that brides and grooms approach weddings so differently. I mean, as women, we have a lot of thoughts and ideas about it. We've been planning this day for most of our lives. Men, not so much. So here are a few tremendous tips from a colleague of mine, Dr. Bill Doherty, from his book called The First Dance. Actually, he and his daughter Elizabeth wrote the book together following her wedding. I highly recommend it. Everyone has opinions and hopes for their wedding, but some of us just have a little bit more time articulating it. Sometimes just knowing what you don't want is as important as knowing what you do. Order those priorities. Know what's major from what's not nearly as important. Utilize your individual talents. Divide some of the responsibility, but share the decision-making on the major aspects of the wedding. Weddings are as much about the community as they are about the couple. On your wedding day, you will indeed be the lead actors playing center stage, but you know what? There will be lots of other people on stage with you and behind the scenes. So here's a planning motto. Yes, it's our wedding and you're an important part of it, so let's figure it out together. Before you start making many arrangements, find out your parents' expectations and hopes for the wedding and what they want to contribute and have happen. Set up a formal time to meet with them by saying, hey, Mom and Dad, you know what? Alan and I would like to sit down for an hour or two next week and get your thoughts about the wedding. We just want to get everyone's ideas out on the table before we get ahead of ourselves. In that meeting, uncover as many expectations as possible. Thoughts about the wedding size, the guest list, location, food, and finances. And when you run into speed bumps, and you will, each partner should carry the main responsibility for difficult family conversations. The number one reason to work on being a good in-law, it's important for your marriage. Nothing is harder on a marriage than listening to a barrage of complaints about your family, even if you might agree with them. Be the first one to express concern over your in-laws, their feelings and preferences, even before your sweetheart does. Bottom line, what you do today during this wedding planning sets a precedence for all your tomorrows.